Welcome into WCMP's Coaches Corner live at A&W. I am joined by the co-head coach of the Pine City Dragons, Andrew Berger. Coach Berger, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, thanks, Ethan. Great to be here.
All right, so you had a game last night against the Aiken Gobblers. That was a tough one for you guys. Let's recap it just a little bit for folks who may have not tuned in.
Sure.
So it started out a little bit rough. You guys actually got the ball kind of early in that game on a fumble, and it looked like things were going good. And there was some problems with the snaps last night that seemed like it was kind of drive killers.
Sure. So last week it was the false starts that kind of hurt us to begin that game and kind of plagued us throughout. And our guys did a nice job of getting those out of the way, but it was that center quarterback exchange this week that plagued us. So you get back to the fundamentals, you work on those. Our center was dealing with a thumb injury, so his placement on the ball wasn't where he needed to be at.
Okay.
And then he had a brace that he was working with too. So, not to make excuses, but we gotta get back to the drawing board and help these guys out a little bit.
Yeah, that can definitely make it tough for the snap quarterback exchange. Definitely makes things not easy for them. But it seemed like you guys on offense, there was plenty of room to run. That O-line definitely had its way last night at points.
Yeah, we were struggling with the guys getting to the right holes, the running backs hitting the right holes. I know that was an issue early on, but yeah, we had positive plays. They occurred. Just got to start with it. All goes through that center. Got to get that snap down first. But there were positive plays. You go back through film and it seemed like there was a positive play, another positive play, and then one negative, and then we were behind the chains. And, I've been thinking about all night the snowball effect.
Yeah.
And it's just a storm occurring all night, but we'll get back to it and we'll figure it out. We trust these guys.
Yeah, because you definitely had some drives that were going and going, and it looked so good. And then, like you mentioned, the negative play and just kind of got behind the chains. And it's so tough when that happens to get yourselves back and in front of the chains. So it seemed like a tough one all night for the Dragons. But on defense, even though the score was 42-8, I don't think that tells the whole story of the game last night. There was some very good play on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, because of the offensive struggles, we were put in very difficult positions throughout. And those guys on the defensive side of the ball really did a nice job all night, I felt like. There really was just one play that consistently hurt us, and that was that toss to the outside. And we knew it was coming. They're a pretty simple team. Smash the ball between the tackles, and we're going to pitch it out the middle, and now we just got to get a little bit better on the edge.
Yeah, there was definitely nowhere to run through a lot of times in the middle. And then there were a couple times on the outside where the team did get there. They just got to give credit where credit is due. Sometimes running backs just found a lane to run through, and sometimes that's just how it goes.
Some missed tackles. We'll go back to our, we spend time on our tackling sequence each day, and we just need to get back to that and stay a little lower and get 11 guys to the ball.
Yeah, and I know that's something that has been preached throughout this program's history is just fundamental, good tackling, just getting in the right position. And then if one guy can't take him down, you hold him up as long as you can so the next couple can come and take him down.
That's right.
So, excuse me, continuing on with the defense, again, the score won't tell the whole story. Again, there was a lot of good fundamentals there last night, and it seemed like once they got inside the 30-yard line, this defense really stiffened.
Yeah, they had to earn it, that's for sure. Our guys don't quit. I really appreciate about that. We talk about values and grit, and these guys, we know they work hard every play, and they're doing the best that they can. And yeah, they did a great job inside the 20. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit more on the defense. Dylan Peterson and Jason Thiemann from their defensive back positions made a lot of tackles last night. Was that just because of they were getting to the outside and they were forced to make the tackles, or were they just coming up and filling that well?
They had to. They were their go-to when they needed a play. They were going to pitch it to the outside, and we knew that. We were giving those guys a heads up on the sideline, expect it to come. We had a strategy, we called it our Purple D, where those guys on the outside were going to press that split end that was cracking down on our outside linebacker, and so that put him in that position to funnel everything in. And our safety is going to be that run downhill and fill in, so he's going to get tackles. And those guys really did a nice job the second half in particular. The first half, a little bit more of a challenge. But second half, they definitely came up and filled that.
Yeah, they really did, and got to give credit up front as well. You know, the D line is sometimes they got pushed back a little bit, but they, like you mentioned, this team just doesn't give up. They showed a lot of heart last night, even being down by so much. They never gave up, and I thought that was one thing that I looked at last night as kind of a key. You know, this team is just showing so much heart throughout these games that sometimes may look like a blowout, but they're never giving up, and I think that is something that sometimes can't be coached.
No, you're right. Aggressiveness too. That's the other thing that's really hard to coach. And those three guys up front, we're constantly rotating those guys, trying to find guys that can contribute. So it's a revolving door of players getting opportunities, and that's one thing we're going to look at this week is look at our O and D and how can we get back to 11 on each side of the ball and get better and provide opportunities for our kids. Our kids want to play, and so we need to do a better job of putting them in a situation where they can experience success.
Well, and the linebackers kind of had someone go down last night in Jacob Lindahl. How is he doing?
Just ran into his parents, laundry day in the Berger household, so ran into mom and dad. He's at home. We're immobilizing the knee. He's going to get checked out on Monday with the sports physician. We'll see where we're at. Trainer had good news. She didn't feel like there was what I call any major damage. So we're just going to hope for the best. And we love Jacob. You can't replace Jacob. He's our emotional leader. He's our leader on both sides of the ball. And he's just a great, great kid. And the kids just absolutely love him. So we miss him. We're going to miss him. And we're just going to hope for the best.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the one part of athletics.
Right.
Is the risk that these guys take every day going on the practice field. It's just part of what we do, and Jacob knows that, and he's such a supportive guy. So we know he'll be there Monday to roll, and he texted me this morning, Coach, I'm ready to go. I'll be there Monday. And that's just the kind of guy he is. And I know he's going to be there Monday, and he might just need to take a few days off and get healthy. So.
All right, well, good news there for him. And now let's shift gears to next week. Of course, I know to last night and today is kind of going over film from last night and then diving into film for next week. But you have Hibbing next week. You're on the road. Talk a little bit about that game.
Well, it's Howard Bowl, you know. That one we've had circled since would it be July when that schedule came out. So Sean Howard is a former alumni of Pine City, and our defensive coach Denny Howard, longtime coach here. So that's his son. So yeah, Howard Bowl. So that's gonna be an exciting one. What I like about Howard Bowl is it couldn't come at a better time. It'll be a really good matchup for our guys. So this will be a good week to get back to the basics. You know, we're going to look at our defense and try and go funnel. You know, we got to get better at those fundamentals and just funnel those guys into the middle and get better at gang tackling. And then offensively, we just got to eliminate our miscues. So the word yesterday was consistency. We got to get more consistency from through the center, get rid of those false starts, and just get consistent. But yeah, we'll get into film this weekend. We'll get into the scouting report Monday. We'll review, spend a little bit of time on Friday, but we're going to quickly move on to Hibbing, and that'll be a good game for us.
All right, sounds like it. And then before we wrap up, I know a freshman got in there last night for the Dragons. Klecki, he got in there. He made some plays on defense and on offense. Now he almost had a touchdown, but he was unfortunately fumbled at the goal line, but he made up for it with getting a touchdown on the next drive.
Yeah, Logan Klecki, freshman, he's just been a consistent dude all summer and all fall, and he wants to play football. He reminds me a lot of Jacob, to be honest with you. But a hard runner. He's one of our wrestlers, so those wrestlers are just naturally more aggressive. And if you look at Aiken, that entire lineup is all wrestlers.
Yeah.
And so Logan fills that hole well. He's earned it. He's earned that opportunity. So he's gonna be one of those guys moving forward. He's gonna be in the offensive backfield, and He's gonna be on the field everywhere somewhere.
Right.
So he's a really good, really solid kid, a real positive kid, and just supportive, and the kids are supportive of him. And yeah, he's gonna have opportunities.
Well, that's good. I mean, as a freshman to get time like that in a varsity game, that's huge, and that can provide big steps for him later on down to sophomore year and then there on out. So that can be huge to get varsity snaps at as a freshman.
Well, it's unique. Coach Howard talked about last week that in all his time here, there's never been a freshman that's stepped up like that, and so. Yeah, it is unique, but he's also special, and he can handle it. Wednesday we did a replacement drill, and Logan was in there all the reps. He didn't make a single mistake. Wow. So how do you, as a coach, not give him an opportunity? Speaking of opportunities, that's one area we're going to look at, making sure we give kids more chances on Friday. We got to do better at that.
All right. Well, sounds good. But before we wrap up here, I know today is the 20th anniversary of the attacks on 9/11. I just wanted to ask so we can acknowledge, did you or anyone in your family or any member on this coaching staff serve in the military?
I did not. I know we have coaching staff, and I'm sure they have family members that have. But, yeah, we're very thankful for our men and women of service and our men and women that serve in our first responders. Absolutely. So, yeah, last night we did a little moment of silence for those guys, and it's a date that we'll never forget. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No. Let's we're going to move on and go get the Blue Jackets.
All right, sounds good. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
That, again, was the co-head coach of the Pine City Dragons, Andrew Berger. When we come back, we'll have more from the Coach's Corner live at A&W.
Well, that wasn't too bad.
Summer is winding down, but you're likely busier than ever. At Aquarius Home Services, your local authorized Connecticut dealer, it's about making life easier, better, with great water. Whether it's city or well, say goodbye to hard water and orange rust stains. Enjoy spotless dishes, fluffy laundry, and purified drinking water, all by using zero electricity and on-demand efficiency. At Aquarius, our goal is to always provide amazing service and earn the right to be recommended. Schedule your free water analysis today at ConnecticutMN.com.
Score! Froggies is the place to be on game day because they've got free drawings for prizes every quarter for Minnesota football games. Located in beautiful downtown Pine City, Froggies is where food, friends, and family come together, especially for game day. Open every day at 11 a.m. with the best daily specials around. Follow them on Facebook for the latest happenings and upcoming events. It's always hoppin' at Froggies.
Lake State Repair in Rush City performs all types of repairs and maintenance services for your truck and trailers, including Class 8 trucks and trailers. When looking for a local company with friendly staff that goes above and beyond to help you, it's going to be Lake State Repair in Rush City. They also can do your annual DOT inspections. So what are you waiting for? Get that repair done with Lake State Repair. Call them at 320-358-3195. Like them on Facebook today, Lake State Repair.
Minnesota. It's home. Hot summers at the lake, beautiful falls, snowy winters, and rainy springs. We experience it all. Make sure you're ready to handle whatever this state throws at you with help from Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Minnesota Equipment carries brands you love, like John Deere, Steel, Toro, Gravely zero-turn mowers, and Aaron snowblowers. Their helpful staff can not only get you the equipment you need, but can help you maintain it so it will last. Plus, they carry a full line of farm equipment. Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Online at minnesotaequipment.com.
When something is important to you, you'll do anything to make sure it's protected. You want someone you know, someone you trust to help you take care of it. That's why you need to work with Pine Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. With over 50 years combined experience, let the experts at Pine Insurance Agency help you protect what's important, whether it's your home, car, farm, insurance, or loved one. Call them today to set up a free, no-obligation quote. Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Pine Insurance Agency, located in a Northridge Center in Pine City.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
If you've been injured in an auto accident or have sustained other personal injury, you don't have to leave town to get good representation. Spear and Swanson attorneys at law in Pine City are experienced and will work on your case with no fee until they get you money. They also handle divorce and custody cases, criminal defense, including DWI and other legal matters. Spear and Swanson is your local law firm that cares about you. So if you need legal representation or advice, call 320-629-7586. Spear and Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City.
Wellia Health is the leading provider of healthcare in East Central Minnesota, offering services to Mora, Pine City, Hinckley, and the surrounding communities. We have the always welcoming care you've come to expect close to home, with cutting-edge technology and multitude of specialty services, so you can receive the medical care you need when you need it. Live life well with Wellia Health. WelliaHealth.org.
Welcome back inside A&W Live at the Coach's Corner here in Pine City. Thank you so much for all of you who tuned in. Of course, we just heard from the co-head coach of the Pine City Dragons, Andrew Berger. Again, I want to thank him so much for joining us today. Of course, the Pine City Dragons did have the game they wanted last night, but again, the final score does not tell the whole story of that game. And thank you once again to Andrew Berger for joining us. Now we'll move on to cross country for Pine City. Of course, they had a meet this week. That meet was the varsity meet in Pine City. That had a bunch of schools there. I think it was about 8 schools who were at that varsity meet here in Pine City on Thursday. And looking at the boys' results from that meet, Charlie Osmus, a Pine City freshman, took second in that invitational with a time of 17 minutes and 50 seconds. That is just 10 seconds behind the first place finisher of Henry Johnson, a sophomore from Chisago Lakes. And then in 24th position was another freshman, Eli Fromm, who finished with a time of 20 minutes and 11 seconds. Now, Eli Fromm is also a freshman. We've got a lot of freshmen and underclassmen here for these cross-country teams, and I mean, that is so valuable of experience to get as a freshman early on in your career. That just is going to give you all that experience moving forward, and then once you get to a senior, you should have all the experience in the world. So I can't explain how valuable that is to get early experience in your career. Much like Logan Klecki did last night for football, it's just so valuable to get that time on the varsity level. Moving on, 28th and 29th positions were filled by Pine City Dragons. Another freshman, Roman McKinney, finished 28th. And then a Pine City 8th grader, Eastard, finished in 29th. In 41st was another Pine City freshman, Sawyer McDaniel. And then in 44th was another Pine City freshman, Sean Skluzacek. Then in 62nd place was another Pine City 8th grader, Weston Clemenson. He finished with a time of 24 minutes and 24 seconds. Pine City as a team finished in 5th place with a team total of 123 points. Of course, in cross country, much like golf, you want the least score possible. So the higher you get, not necessarily better, as the top team who finished in the Invitational with first place for the men was Foley with a total score of 58 points. So again, not necessarily the highest score you want more of the lower score. Moving on to the girls' side of that invitational, in 13th place was Rachel Brown for Pine City, a freshman. She finished with a time of 23 minutes, 7 seconds. Then in 14th place was Emma Belsheim, who is a 10th grader. She finished with a time of 23 minutes and 11 seconds, just 4 seconds behind her teammate in Rachel Brown. Moving on down, in 36th was Gracie Larson, an 8th grader for Pine City. In 40th was another 8th grader for Pine City, Paige Gray. Then a freshman here, Peyton Peralt, in 50th place. Then in 53rd, it was Sophia Olsen, in 10th grade for Pine City. She finished with a time of 27 minutes and 21 seconds. Pine City in that one came in 7th with a team total of 132 points. Spectrum finished in 1st with a team total of 32. Hinckley Finlayson finished in 2nd with a total of 74. So that's a look at the cross country there for Pine City from this past Thursday, of course, on the 9th. Again, a lot of underclassmen getting a lot of varsity work in for the Pine City Dragons cross country team, both on the boys and girls side. And that is just, again, not to beat a dead horse, but it's so valuable to get that experience at a young age. 8th and 9th graders are getting to start, and they're performing well, and that is just going to prove to be so good for this team once they get to their, junior and senior seasons. This team is going to be very good, but not just very good, very experienced. So they're going to learn, how to handle these different things, what to do. And when it comes time, they will be the leaders of this group. They're going to have a ton of seniors and juniors in the next couple of years, and they're going to be able to teach the underclassmen, the 10th graders, the 9th graders, 8th graders, maybe even some 7th graders that get some time on the varsity level. So that is so valuable for this team to get that experience early on, because then they're going to have that experience, and then they can, once they're juniors and seniors, give that knowledge down to the underclassmen. That is just so, it's just invaluable for those athletes. This week, they will again only have one meet this week on the 14th. That will be on Tuesday. And that will be at 4:10 p.m. over in Mora. That, again, will be about 8 to 9 teams over there. That'll be the Vassalopet over there for cross country. And that'll be on Tuesday, September 14th at 4:10 p.m. over there in Mora. So, again, that's a look at the cross country results from this week for Pine City. Again, a lot of underclassmen getting time, but that can only prove to be good for their team. We'll take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk some volleyball that happened this week for the Pine City Dragons. A lot of exciting games for them as well. You're listening to the Coach's Corner live at A&W.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
This is a story we all share, of a place rooted in tradition and rich with opportunity, of people driven by compassion and vision. At Essentia Health, we're proud to play our role in this story, because we know that this place, these people, are like nowhere else. Visit Essentia Health in Hinckley, Sandstone, or our new location in Moose Lake for all your care needs. Schedule an appointment at essentiahealth.org today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Visit Town & Country Insurance today at townandcountry-ins.com or stop in our offices in Finlayson, Hinckley, and Mora.
To say we're having a hot summer is an understatement. Some days have been fry an egg on cement hot. Is your air conditioning keeping up? If it's time to think about a new AC, Aquarius Home Services has great summer specials on new air conditioning systems starting as low as $45 per month. From repairs to replacement, you'll enjoy respectful, on-time professional service and no surprise upfront pricing. Worry-free AC is just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Who remembers the Awesome Burger? It's back at your favorite A&W family restaurant in Pine City. A 1/3 pound bacon double cheeseburger topped with American cheese, mayo, lettuce, tomato, and topped with our awesome crunchy golden brown onion rings. Make it a combo with hot seasoned french fries and a drink. Don't forget to top it off with a classic A&W root beer float featuring vanilla soft serve and made fresh root beer all in a frosty mug. Signature combos and delicious treats always at your local A&W family restaurant in Pine City.
A Lennox heat pump from Dale's Heating and Appliance is the perfect solution to your summer cooling and spring or fall heating needs. With rebates up to $1,250 from East Central Energy, now is the best time to have the energy experts from Dale's install a Lennox heat pump in your home. Visit the showroom in downtown Pine City or online at dalesheatingandappliance.com and ask about rebates from East Central Energy today. Dale's Heating and Appliance, where consistent comfort is key.
Welcome back inside A&W Live for the Coaches Corner. I'm Ethan Game Day Gillen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll move on now to volleyball. We just talked about football with Andrew Berger, the co-head coach of the Pine City Dragons, and then we talked some cross country here. Before we took that last commercial break, you heard A&W's ad there. That Awesome Burger, man, it does sound pretty good. I'm here at A&W. I'm smelling some of the food, and I might just have to stop and get some after I'm done here. It's smelling a little too delicious. They've got a great menu of food, so be sure to stop on by and get you some lunch, maybe even some dinner here as well. But as we move on, we'll get on to some volleyball here for Pine City. They had a crazy week of volleyball. First, they welcomed in Proctor on Tuesday, and man, what a game. That was quite the match there for both the Dragons and the Proctor Rails. The Dragons fell in the first set. I believe it was a 25-12 or 14 score there in that first set, and then in the second set, you could feel Pine City started to shift momentum towards their direction, and you could just feel it in the gym there that it was just one or two bounces away from Pine City winning that second set. It was back and forth towards the end. Proctor pulled away just a little bit, and Pine City fell in that one. I believe the final score in set number 2 was 25-19. And then we move on to the third set, and the third set was all Pine City. That was such a good set for Pine City. They turned things around. And in an interview with the head coach of the Pine City Dragons, which we will get to in just a second, Tammy Nelson, she talked about an injury that they had before that match that kind of turned things upside down a little bit for their team. And so she talked about that a little bit in the interview. I won't go into too much detail, but because she kind of talks about it. But, yeah, just a crazy set there for the Dragons in set number 3. They turned things around, got things clicking on their side, and they won that set. I believe it was the same score of 25-19. So it looked like Pine City was on the comeback train. Down 2-0, they win set 3, and now they're down 2-1. They're looking to make a straight 3 comeback. And then came the fourth set, and wow, what a set that was. Pine City opened up, I believe, with 3 straight points on their side before Proctor was able to score 1, so they had a 3-0 lead, and from there on out, neither team led by more than 1 point during that match, other than at the beginning when Pine City led 3-0. It was a fantastic set for both sides. And it was just so back and forth. One team would get the point, then they would get a point to lead, and then the other team would come back, tie it right back up. They would get the lead, and it was back and forth just like that throughout the entire match. A couple timeouts sprinkled in here and there for both teams, and you could just feel that it was one bounce from going the Proctor Rails way and one bounce from going the Pine City Dragons way. It was just so close and such good competitive action between the two teams that it really no one had momentum in that set. It was just good competitive action between both teams. Proctor Rails is a very good team, and Pine City, they kind of had to deal with some lineup changes in there, but they did really well. And then towards the end of the fourth set, Pine City actually had a lead of 1 point, and then Proctor came back. They scored a point. They would get another point to tie it, and then they would take the lead. They would actually take the lead by 2 points, 24-22. They were at match point, but Pine City, they were determined to stay in it and get that set victory, and they came back and scored 2 points of their own to tie it up at 24. Then the Proctor Rails would get a point back, and unfortunately they would get the final point that would win the set, and that would give them the match victory 3-1. Rodberg was the Proctor Rail who would get the winning point for the Rails, but Pine City, man, what a set and match that was for them. It just shows you how good this team can really be and how determined they are. They're not going to be pushed away easily. Then they had another good matchup on Thursday against the Hinckley-Finlayson Jaguars, and man, what a game that one was. Last year when these two teams met up in their first match, it went all 5 sets. Hinckley-Finlayson won the first 2 sets easily. I shouldn't say easily, but they were on top, and it looked like they had all momentum. They looked like they had Pine City's number in that one. Then they came back, Pine City did, and won 3 straight sets to get the victory, 3-2. This year, not so much the same case as it was last year. Down 2-0, came back and won, but I'd say it was just as exciting. Pine City in the first set easily took the victory, 25-12. Then in the second set, it was Hinckley-Finlayson who took the victory. I believe the score was 25-21. Then the third set, again, was all Pine City, 25-14. Fourth set, what a set that was. Back and forth throughout the entire thing. Pine City had a 10-point lead, 20-10 in the fourth set. Hinckley-Finlayson would get a point, and Georgia Rice would come in and serve for them, and man, what a server she is. She did a great job of serving, getting them the serves down just in front of the Dragon defenders. They had to dive to get it, and it would just throw off their offense just a little bit and just enough to where Hinckley-Finlayson was able to mount a comeback. They would get, I think, 8 or 9 straight points to make the comeback, and then Pine City got the ball back. They scored a couple points, but Hinckley-Finlayson right back when they got the ball, man, they were on it, and they got the thing tied back up, and then Pine City, it was back and forth. They would get the ball back, but Pine City would take a lead. Then Hinckley-Finlayson would get the ball back. They would take the lead. That one went into extra points, but finally Hinckley-Finlayson would get the set win in set 4, 27-25. And then we'd head into the fifth set, which was the Pine City Dragons. They won that set 15-7, and they would win that game 3-2. But what a week it was there for the Pine City Dragons in volleyball. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll hear that interview from the head coach of the Pine City Dragons volleyball team, Tammy Nelson.
Summer is winding down, but you're likely busier than ever. At Aquarius Home Services, your local authorized Connecticut dealer, it's about making life easier, better, with great water. Whether it's city or well, say goodbye to hard water and orange rust stains. Enjoy spotless dishes, fluffy laundry, and purified drinking water, all by using zero electricity and on-demand efficiency. At Aquarius, our goal is to always provide amazing service and earn the right to be recommended. Schedule your free water analysis today at ConnecticutMN.com.
Score! Froggies is the place to be on game day because they've got free drawings for prizes every quarter for Minnesota football games. Located in beautiful downtown Pine City, Froggies is where food, friends, and family come together, especially for game day. Open every day at 11 a.m. with the best daily specials around. Follow them on Facebook for the latest happenings and upcoming events. It's always hoppin' at Froggies.
Lake State Repair in Rush City performs all types of repairs and maintenance services for your truck and trailers, including Class 8 trucks and trailers. When looking for a local company with friendly staff that goes above and beyond to help you, it's going to be Lake State Repair in Rush City. They also can do your annual DOT inspections. So what are you waiting for? Get that repair done with Lake State Repair. Call them at 320-358-3195. Like them on Facebook today, Lake State Repair.
Minnesota. It's home. Hot summers at the lake, beautiful falls, snowy winters, and rainy springs. We experience it all. Make sure you're ready to handle whatever this state throws at you with help from Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Minnesota Equipment carries brands you love, like John Deere, Steel, Toro, Gravely zero-turn mowers, and Aaron snowblowers. Their helpful staff can not only get you the equipment you need, but can help you maintain it so it will last. Plus, they carry a full line of farm equipment. Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Online at minnesotaequipment.com.
When something is important to you, you'll do anything to make sure it's protected. You want someone you know, someone you trust to help you take care of it. That's why you need to work with Pine Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. With over 50 years combined experience, let the experts at Pine Insurance Agency help you protect what's important. Whether it's your home, car, farm, insurance, or loved ones, call them today to set up a free, no-obligation quote. Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Pine Insurance Agency, located in a Northridge Center in Pine City.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a four-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available. Online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
If you've been injured in an auto accident or have sustained other personal injury, you don't have to leave town to get good representation. Spear and Swanson attorneys at law in Pine City are experienced and will work on your case with no fee until they get you money. They also handle divorce and custody cases, criminal defense, including DWI and other legal matters. Spear and Swanson is your local law firm that cares about you. So if you need legal representation or advice, call 320-629-7586. Spear and Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City.
And we will now hear from the head coach of the Pine City Girls volleyball team, Coach Tammy Nelson. You had two really good games this week, one against Proctor on Tuesday and then Hinckley-Finlayson yesterday. Let's first talk about that Proctor game. The final score in that one really doesn't tell the whole story.
No, not at all. We started slow the first game, and I think the girls, we had some, I hate to say it, unexpected news right before the game. One of our players had gotten injured, so we had to do a quick lineup change before the game even started and put someone into a position that they don't typically play, and I think they just were a little off their game.
Yeah, and that can sometimes throw things off easily.
And then the second game, they got it. They were right back. The third game, we were coming on strong, getting our blocks up, putting it down, and the fourth game was a nail-biter, a hard one to lose an extra point.
Yeah, it was very close. Of course, I was there calling that one, and it just felt like after that, or in that second set, that momentum had just shifted towards your team.
Yep. They everything just finally clicked together. Everybody was talking, and then they just kept going. It was amazing.
Yes, now Proctor, a very good team in their own right, but again, your team kept themselves in it, and again, not the whole story with the final of 3-1. Your team was very good, and it felt like it was so close. It just 1 point here or there, it was going to flip your way, and you guys would have been victorious.
Yeah, definitely. We're hoping we will see them again in the playoffs.
That will be a very good matchup if that happens. All right, then on to Thursday, and this was another good matchup, another team that you see quite often during the year.
Yeah, we will see them again in October, I believe, and we see them again. And that one, literally, everyone asked, what happened in the second and the fourth game? And anybody who was watching, in the middle of the games, the first game was, 100% our way. And so then in the second game, I took it to get some of our swing players some playing time on the court. So I did some switching and whatever, and I'm like, we're going to see what's going to happen, see how they do. And it was a close one, and that was okay with me. And then the third game, I went back to just putting, my primary people I go to. And again, it was 25-14, definitely 100% our way. So I made the mental choice as a coach. This was a good time to get those swing players some more time also, and built up a big lead. And unfortunately, when I did some adjustments, communication fell apart a little bit and ended up losing it 25-27. The girls are like, I said, what? You're fine. We'll be fine. Take the fifth one. And we ended up, fifth one, 15-7. So, although some people probably wondered what in the world I was doing, I did kind of have a plan in that one.
Right. Yeah, it's always good to get the players who normally aren't out on the court some experience. That way they can make their way into the game sooner rather than later.
Right. And with the number of injuries we've had this year, I definitely wanted to get them some time when I felt confident that we could pull it out if I needed. And I wanted them to, let them struggle through some, because we're going to have those close games, teams that like Proctor, where it could end either way. Coaching staff decided to let them fight a little bit.
Yeah, it's never a bad idea because, like you said, there are going to be those close games throughout the entire year and in the playoffs, and none of them are necessarily going to be easy.
They're going to be easy. There's definitely some that have a little bit more of a mental toughness needed, just because of knowing, the history with the team, knowing what's going on. So I felt, Hinckley has a great program. Our girls are much more confident, if I should say, playing Hinckley than some of the other teams.
Now, Hinckley-Finlayson, they did a good job of coming back from that deficit that they had. They had some pretty good serves out there, so got to give them credit.
Yep.
But
they did. They have a great team. They are doing a great job, and it's going to be a close game all the time.
Yeah, and it makes for very good entertainment for those who are there and watching. Maybe they're listening on the radio. It just makes for a great game.
Exactly. And I would rather have close, fun games than blowouts. For me, I would rather take it every time. Let's give the crowd what they came for. And
right.
The more time on the court for the girls, the better.
Right. They're able to gain that experience.
You're right.
All right. So we've gone through this week. Now next week, you guys will start up with only one game next week.
Yes. After the last 3 weeks of whirlwind, we are down. We only have one on Tuesday. We have a home game against East Central.
All right. And talk about that matchup a little bit.
That's always a fun matchup because the varsity coach on that team is my daughter. So it's always fun, and because of the two of us, we both coach very similar, and so it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. She's on her second season with East Central. The girls have gotten closer and closer, and it's kind of hard not to get closer as two teams when the two coaches are related. If there's summer times to get together to play, like scrimmage each other, it's a real easy combination for the two of us to get our teams together. They've joined our summer league when we had some openings at our camp. Some of the East Central girls came and joined the camp. So the girls know each other very well, personally too. So it's going to be a fun game.
It sounds like it. And then you have the rest of that week off until the next week. Then you'll play 2 more games, but don't want to look too far ahead into the schedule. Of course, you want to keep that one game right in front of you.
Right. So one game right ahead. Yeah. Then the next week we have, we come up on, 2 big ones, Rush City and Brown. So it'll be nice to have the extra time to come up, make sure we're ready and have our game plan.
All right. Well, is there anyone in your family, on the coaching staff, maybe some of the players' family members who are in the military or previously have been? Of course, tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the attacks on 9/11.
I know we have several girls who have, relatives who are on there. Personally, I have a niece and a nephew who have been.
Just want to make sure that we get them the acknowledgement they deserve.
Yes, definitely.
All right, and then is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, just thanking for all the support we've been getting. The fans have been great. The crowd has been huge, which I love to see. It gets the girls going. And if they aren't able to be there, the fact that they can watch it with you guys broadcasting, I can't say how much I appreciate it.
Well, we're happy to do it, and it's exciting to go out there every time and be able to broadcast those games.
Yeah, we try to make it fun. We try to so that everybody has a good time. Sometimes it's a little close, but we like to make it a little challenging.
Yeah, make it a nail biter. Give them what they came for, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for taking time out of your day to do this interview with me. I greatly appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
That again was the head coach of the Pine City Dragons volleyball team, Tammy Nelson. I want to thank her again for taking the time out of her busy schedule to do an interview with me. Of course, we might get her to be able to join us here one of these days at the Coach's Corner, hopefully. I know she mentioned a date that she was available, so hopefully we'll be able to get her in and get an interview with her live at the Coach's Corner. So that is almost it here for me, but we've got one more thing to talk about when we come back. We'll talk some tennis, some Pine City tennis when we come back, and we'll hear an interview from the head coach, Kristen Unverzat, when we come back. You're listening to the Coach's Corner live at A&W.
Wellia Health is the leading provider of healthcare in East Central Minnesota, offering services to Mora, Pine City, Hinckley, and the surrounding communities. We have the always welcoming care you've come to expect close to home, with cutting-edge technology and multitude of specialty services, so you can receive the medical care you need when you need it. Live life well with Wellia Health. welliahealth.org.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FD.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings, with expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
This is a story we all share, of a place rooted in tradition and rich with opportunity, of people driven by compassion and vision. At Essentia Health, we're proud to play our role in this story, because we know that this place, these people, are like nowhere else. Visit Essentia Health in Hinckley, Sandstone, or our new location in Moose Lake for all your care needs. Schedule an appointment at essentiahealth.org today.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Visit Town & Country Insurance today at townandcountry-ins.com or stop in our offices in Finlayson, Hinckley, and Mora.
To say we're having a hot summer is an understatement. Some days have been fry an egg on cement hot. Is your air conditioning keeping up? If it's time to think about a new AC, Aquarius Home Services has great summer specials on new air conditioning systems starting as low as $45 per month. From repairs to replacement, you'll enjoy respectful, on-time professional service and no surprise upfront pricing. Worry-free AC is just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Who remembers the Awesome Burger? It's back at your favorite A&W family restaurant in Pine City. A 1/3 pound bacon double cheeseburger topped with American cheese, mayo, lettuce, tomato, and topped with our awesome crunchy golden brown onion rings. Make it a combo with hot seasoned french fries and a drink. Don't forget to top it off with a classic A&W beer, all in a frosty mug. City.
A Lennox heat pump from Dale's Heating and Appliance is the perfect solution to your...
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner live at A&W. Now we'll hear a word from the head coach of the girls tennis team for Pine City, Coach Unverzat. First, I want to let you know that they have a tournament today in Pine City due to the Pine City girls tennis team. It's a big one. They are hosting Aiken, Crosby Ironton, Eveleth Gilbert, Duluth Marshall, Mora, Piers, and Virginia today over at the courts at Pine City High School. So a big one. It's an individual tournament, and then they'll do team scores as well, kind of like their power tournament a little bit, but just a little bit different at it. As it is in the season, and it is also a section tournament as well. So you'll hear some words from Coach Unverzat and hear how this has it makes it a lot nicer when they're able to have these tournaments earlier in the season rather than later. So let's hear the interview from head coach of the Pine City girls tennis team, Coach Unverzat. Your team has had a week of, call it rest, if you will, before a big tournament coming up tomorrow. Talk about what it's been like to have that week to get prepared for the tournament on Saturday.
Well, the timing of having this week off to prepare was good in regards to the fact that they're getting adjusted to back-to-school schedules and getting up early, and so it's given them a little bit more time to adjust without late nights and matches. However, it also made us hungry and ready for those matches tomorrow. They're ready for some match play and to keep improving and getting better. Tomorrow is going to be when we host all of our section teams, and it'll be an individual tournament with regards to the individual brackets, but we'll also keep track of team points. And on the championship side, a win is worth 2 points, and on the consolation side, a win is worth 1. So it'll also give us a good gauge of where we fall within the section. So it's been a big goal for us to keep focused on, to keep us motivated this week. But on the flip side, having 4 days of practice, we're ready for a match tomorrow.
Sounds good. And last year you had some tournaments late in the year, and now this year, of course, getting back to normal. You get a couple here early on in the season. What is that like?
Yeah, it is great. The girls, even with our preseason tournaments, are so excited, and you can feel their energy just to be back and to have that opportunity to get 3 matches in a day. It's really hard to practice that or figure out ways to help the girls get that stamina for 3 tight matches, and just having the opportunity to play and do that is really going to help us out, especially as we roll throughout the season. We have a lot of Saturday tournaments, and this will just help them continue to push and get in shape and ready for those final section tournaments.
All right, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, getting prepared for this upcoming tournament tomorrow. What are some of the things that your team has been working on throughout this week?
Well, a big focus of our season, because we had a lot of returning letter winners on the team, was they all know the drill and what they need to do, but I really wanted them to focus more on their match play and style, like what is creating opportunities for them to be successful. What are the other teams doing that are creating a little bit of trouble for them that they have to respond to, and just learn to analyze their game more. And with that, we've also done a lot of work with just looking at how can we keep pushing and kind of extend our game and some of our options that we have. Every player knows their strengths and they know what shots they want that are weaker, but also extending it to more into situations and how we set up our doubles teams and how we play, and maybe a little bit more active with some poaching at the net. So this week I've kind of put a lot on them, like what's your practice goal? And you hold them accountable as you walk around, like what is your focus today? The part with that is you have to remember is you might not be successful, and that's hard for a lot of these competitive girls, that when they're playing and they're practicing a serve and volley, which is not their strength, they might not be winning the points, but the bottom line is we're out there to get better every day, and that's just what we need to do. So that's been really good for these girls to get an opportunity to kind of self-diagnose and figure out what do I need to do to get better and improve my game.
All right, and then tomorrow, of course, is the tournament here. What are some of the matchups that you're looking forward to watch between your team and some of the players from the other schools?
Well, honestly, I'm just looking forward to all of them, because last year we didn't get the opportunity to see all of our teams in the section if they weren't in our conference. And with the exception of Virginia, we had them as our only preseason match last year. These teams are all new to us. A lot of the teams that we saw have graduated most of their players since the last time we saw them 2 years ago. So it's just going to give us a good gauge of where we're at, where we match up, and an opportunity to play a lot of new players that we just haven't seen yet.
All right, sounds good. And then before I let you go, of course, tomorrow is the 20-year anniversary of 9/11. Is there anyone on your coaching staff, in your family, or maybe some of the players' family that have someone who has served or is serving that you would like to acknowledge?
You know, we don't have anybody curling on our coaching staff that is, but we, of course, want to just give a shout-out and thank everyone for their service, any, veteran or active duty member, because it's because of their service that we have the opportunity to play tennis and do all the things we love. So thank you for including that.
Absolutely. And then is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I just want to thank you for your coverage, and we appreciate all the support of the community. And when you're going places, people are always asking me, hey, team's looking good, or how are the girls doing? So we definitely appreciate all the support and positive energy that we get, and we're just looking forward to a great day.
Summer is winding down, but you're likely busier than ever. At Aquarius Home Services, your local authorized Connecticut dealer, it's about making life easier, better, with great water. Whether it's city or well, say goodbye to hard water and orange rust stains. Enjoy spotless dishes, fluffy laundry, and purified drinking water, all by using zero electricity and on-demand efficiency. At Aquarius, our goal is to always provide amazing service and earn the right to be recommended. Schedule your free water analysis today at ConnecticutMN.com.
Score! Froggies is the place to be on game day because they've got free drawings for prizes every quarter for Minnesota football games. Located in beautiful downtown Pine City, Froggies is where food, friends, and family come together, especially for game day. Open every day at 11 a.m. with the best daily specials around. Follow them on Facebook for the latest happenings and upcoming events. It's always hoppin' at Froggies.
Lake State Repair in Rush City performs all types of repairs and maintenance services for your truck and trailers, including Class 8 trucks and trailers. When looking for a local company with friendly staff that goes above and beyond to help you, it's going to be Lake State Repair in Rush City. They also can do your annual DOT inspections. So what are you waiting for? Get that repair done with Lake State Repair. Call them at 320-358-3195. Like them on Facebook today, Lake State Repair.
Who remembers the Awesome Burger? It's back at your favorite A&W family restaurant in Pine City. A 1/3 pound bacon double cheeseburger topped with American cheese, mayo, lettuce, tomato, and topped with our awesome crunchy golden brown onion rings. Make it a combo with hot seasoned french fries and a drink. Don't forget to top it off with a classic A&W root beer float featuring vanilla soft serve and made fresh root beer all in a frosty mug. Signature combos and delicious treats always at your local A&W family restaurant in Pine City.
Back here at the Coach's Corner live at A&W. Of course, you heard from the head coach of the Pine City girls tennis team, Kristen Unverzad. Thank you to her for doing an interview with me in her busy schedule. Thank you to all the coaches who provided an interview. Coach Berger, who came in this morning to do this with us. It is so greatly appreciated. That makes my job a lot more easier. That gives us more content for this Coach's Corner here live at A&W. Of course, the tennis team is hosting their tournament today, a section tournament at the Pine City High School. Be sure to watch them because it started at 8 o'clock, but I'm telling you right now, it is closing in on noon, but the action is full-blown right now. They're probably going to go and play until later this afternoon, maybe into the evening, because it is a big tournament. Like I mentioned, Aiken, Crosby, Ironton, Evelyn, Gilbert, Duluth, Marshall, Moore, Piers, and Virginia are all there today, so it's a big one. Be sure to get on out there and watch some tennis. Even if you're not the biggest fan of tennis, I promise you, you will become one after you go there and watch today's tournament. It is so good, and these are such good teams in this section. It is such a competitive section, so make sure to get out there and watch that. And before we go, of course, I want to take a moment to thank all of the military members who have served or are currently serving, and all of the first responders. It is because of you that we are able to live in this country where we are free to do what we want and what we would like to do, and it is because of you that we are able to feel safe in our communities. And thank you all so much for your service. It is greatly appreciated, especially here on this 20th anniversary of 9/11. And it's not just today. It is every day that we should be thankful for you, because it is not until we need your services that we realize how grateful that we are for you. And it's unfortunate that that's the way it is sometimes, but I think we need to do more to show them how much we appreciate them, especially in today. Their job is just as hard as it ever was. So thank you so much to all of those who are first responders or who have served in the military or are currently serving. Thank you so much for what you do and the sacrifices that you make. It is not an easy job. I want to thank the Burchin family for allowing us to come here and broadcast live in A&W. Of course, they're making renovations in here, and I must say it is looking good so far. I can't wait to see the final product when they are finished. I'm so excited. And again, thank you to A&W and the Burchins for allowing us to do it. Make sure to stop on by A&W. Of course, it is great food here. That Awesome Burger, you heard the commercial. I might just have to go get one after I wrap it up here. The food here is just, it's a little too tempting to not just leave and not get something from here. But again, thank you to A&W and the Burchin family. For WCMP, I am Ethan Game Day Gilman live at A&W with the Coach's Corner. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your weekend.